being recorded,
All
just
right.
so everyone knows, and.
We are on right now.
Great.
Perfect. All right, so, with, we took the approach of updating the budget here, because there was a lot of like, oh, we could do this, and a lot of different plans. And with the advent of Andy's, and latest revisions here, with kind of figuring out a little bit more dialed in here as to what it is on the option 2, and have a little more certainty, we're like, we need to price this in reality. And it's specifically what also drove this is the changes in this packet of the full wood package. So I talked to the truss suppliers and stuff like that to get a little more refined number on turning this building into full wood construction, just to get a better approach and to have a more realistic number rather than where, oh, we have to take and add from different columns and stuff like that. Let's start from a new point and we can go up and down from there. So what you'll find in the letter packet here is the comparison. So on the front page, you'll find this handy table here. We were at 6.2 previously, and with this updated design, we're now looking at 5.7, and so that's better part of $500,000 downwards, simply by revisions in design and spacing of certain things. So I'll give you, we handed this off to you, so in this is our letter, and also with our larger, and attached to it in the back is all the detail of what makes up this thing. Specifically, we'll go through, there it is.
Oh, you did better than I thought.
Yeah, that's a transfer.
You didn't leave her sitting in a parking lot?
So, in this, yes, we will identify, yes, we are still above the target budget here.
Right.
But we have moved significantly in the right direction here. And this is, and there's this is not utilized every single VE opportunity that we have here, so the value management, value engineering, if you will. There's still opportunities to change some of the materials and the design a little bit. But by refining, having a little more detail in this new wood truss construction, pricing out that, we've better refined the budget to get a new starting point of saying, we're here and we can work from this level now. You'll also find, I printed out real quick, is the spreadsheet of the, called the variance report. We'll just run it between the two different budgets to see where things moved up and down and why they moved that way. And so again, the difference between these two budgets is gonna be changing the bay space from a low-sloped metal building to now a full wood construction building in those bay spaces. Not, still having the 6 full bays. We're not thinking there'd be any columns in between the bays right now. We're thinking we can get that open span still from the layout that my truss supplier provided me. But it's now more of a, you have the larger single gables, you don't have, you have equal roof slopes on either side. It's a little more, and I think it's a little, it fits in
Yeah, I
much
think
so, up
so.
here.
You know, I think that, yeah, took us a little while, but we're getting there. To something that looks like Harpswell. And so I was encouraged by the budget. I think there's still places to save that are not gonna affect the program. And, it'd be great to get the extra 1.5, and then we're pretty golden, I think, even with BABA and so on. But I think, we're still moving forward at the 6 million and, see how we go. So see if we can start to get some savings. So the next thing for us is really, I want to see where that, where Mark can kind of start fine tuning maybe a little bit is more on site right now, and like, as soon as we get the surveyor's results in there for that stream, I get the 25-foot mark, we can lay out the building, you know, much more accurately, lay out the pavement better, and I have Ryan back at the office laying out the whole site and with the transfer station. And we're looking at that also to maybe try to get a little bit of savings with, you know, sharing a septic. I would like to know, where does the TV station have a bathroom in it? And
It does.
So they must
Yeah.
have a septic field somewhere.
We think they might be tied into the recycling.
I thought there was one on the back side of the building. There was at least a tank on the back side of the TV building.
So that all would be good to know,
Find
because
out
maybe we
more
can, you know,
about
maybe
that.
we can, you know, enlarge it, the septic field a little bit, maybe we can reuse. Again, those are things that I'd like to, you know, if we kind of go through that, you know, we might be able to find some savings if there's a well there already that, you know, would be adequate. I don't know what the well's pumping and, you know, if that's okay, and
And
so.
preliminary, don't think that a sprinkler is required for the transfer. That was one thing we were looking.
Oh, really?
That if you did need a sprinkler, instead of doing 2 holding tanks,
Yeah.
do one big one,
So we're
get the
thinking-
economy of scale,
Yeah.
but that's a different conversation.
At the recycling plant.
Yeah,
Right,
Yeah.
right, but
Right.
why put in 2 utilities
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
60 feet
do,
apart, yeah.
yeah, do one, see what we can do with utilities to combine them. They'll still have portions allocated to each, but it would still, one big one's bigger than 2 mediums, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because like, I think if we had the opportunity to put like the cisterns up there in the lawn space, they could not have to be sunk into the ledge, you know, right tight to the new station here. Could it be, you know, we could strategically place them in a better place where we didn't have to pull out piles of rock, we pound dirt over them to create that, and you create your own little sprinkler district amongst 2 or 3 buildings, possibly. But that's still an option too, even if you do the one, depending on how much rock. And once the survey is established, and we do some borings and stuff like that to understand truly what we're gonna look at for rock removal. And knowing that it is Hartsville, and there's going to be rock removal, so. Like strategic placement of these things, elevated a little bit more, less is more.
Yeah, definitely want to keep, you know, ledge removal down to as minimum as we can. I think, you know, that, when you walk back out of there, it is fairly level. It starts to fall down to the stream a little bit. But, you know, we can also play with the, you know, our civil engineer can play with the height of this one, and we'll try to reduce any ledge removal. So this will probably be built right on ledge out there. But I think, but if we can, as Mark's saying, go down the hill, we got gravity feed going down that way, and, you know, for a leach field and so on. So I think we're moving in a direction that, you know, we see the light at the end of the tunnel. So we're feeling much better than I did like a month ago or 2 weeks,
Yeah.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Now the light's not a train.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, shared pumping tanks and stuff for multiple buildings isn't anything new. They've been doing that for 150
it
years.
makes a lot of
Yeah,
economic
yeah,
sense.
Yeah,
Well,
that,
Yeah.
that was what talking with the sprinkler guy about it, because we've also looked at, you know, really examining in this larger attic cavity on that now, like, oh, what if we sprayed it, you know, and did what they call a hot or cold roof, so condition that space or not. And my sprinkler guy's concern is that it's too much of a throw for attic heads. So you have to do more of the standard drop head grid configuration up there, even if it being dry up there, it's not as big a concern on just the overall area.
It's a large
So-
volume. It's a large volume.
It is, but also, it was looking at the wet versus dry, and he's like, just price the insulation both ways, and you're gonna sprinkle it one way or another there. So.
Yeah, and depending on it, we're also looking at heat pumps right now.
Yep.
I think we might have an opportunity to look at rooftop units that'll provide heating, cooling, and will also provide ventilation to the building. And Lita, one of our mechanical guys was saying that they are just starting to make packaged ones in the US, so that would comply
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
BABA as well. But that might be some savings. And then if you're dropping ductwork in there, then that's another reason they don't maybe have to insulate the ductwork, or if we're dropping equipment in there. So this is the questions that we're going for next, and trying to keep kind of taking the budget down without, and then I'm hoping we'll find some savings, getting, right now, it's still as good and as best estimate as
Yeah.
Mark can do, and we might be able to find that,
Because if you
Hopefully we got
look
some
at the
savings on
total of the value engineering items down below and the amount above, it's still 163,000. But that we feel is within striking distance. That is,
You got a lot of like the backside that will go against the stream. Can that be a different, cheaper siding than the front to change that and things like that?
price hardy
less
on it.
expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I've got a new siding I really like that we're using that's a little less than hardy
Yep.
to all side ascend. It's a fiberglass siding, so it's kind of in between a vinyl and a hardy plank, and I just put it on a multi-unit project. Looks really good. So, and it's got each clapboard's got a foam insulation in it as well. So, and that would be no maintenance.
Can we talk about the stream again real briefly?
What about?
So they said it was a stream, but it's considered a low value or something?
So we got it, so not, that whole thing's not a stream. So so right now.
So that's why you're saying the surveyor still needs to,
The next
Well,
big thing we need is survey.
Yeah, so surveyor is gonna locate the edge of the water flow. But then we have, then we
Flycatcher.
have flycatcher to go back out there to locate which sections are defined as streams. I really think, in the plan here, we're gonna find out it's only like 20, 30 feet here, 10 feet. It's not this whole stream thing up there. So that also, then maybe we can, have more flexibility moving the building.
because it was one time a couple months ago, I thought you said something along the lines of if it was low value or something like that, there might be something the town can do.
I think that
You
was
can
the vernal-
mitigate it.
Was that the vernal pool that you're talking about?
Well,
That was
I
insignificant.
thought there might be an opportunity maybe to do some mitigation in a different location
Yeah.
so that we could still have access to the back of the building is what I was getting at.
Yeah, that's to work on that as well. So I think, let's define that and then get back with Flycatcher and say, all right, so this is the stream. Does that make, all of the wetland upstream from it, more valuable, or can we, take some of that out, or, see what they say on it. So, that's why I think, at this point, we're just kind of waiting to, see where that is, and then we'll refine the site plan, so.
that'll give us more firm parameters to tighten up this budget and
Yeah.
to really refine it. So, I mean, because, we could say, oh, we'll just go down to what you need for a budget, but that could put us in a much more difficult situation, and that's what we're trying to avoid in the later on of
Yeah.
being in that, you could have just bid at that point and then had to make really hard decisions when your back was truly against the wall.
Yep.
We're trying to give ourselves a way better situation and set up here.
Right.
Rather than being backed into a corner.
So timeline-wise, so we're still looking at Flycatcher and the survey needs to be done before you can submit for DEP, which is 6 months beyond that, right?
Correct, yeah.
So at this point, we're talking December.
Well, we're going to need a couple months, probably 6 weeks minimum to pull that together
Get
once
the
we have,
drawings
get
to
the drawings.
Shape that we can.
'Cause-
yeah.
I mean, we'll definitely, I mean, I can't imagine we wouldn't know about the congressional money by December,
So
unless they do continuing resolutions.
Jeez, now you.
Now you've
blew
done it.
God. We're supposed to talk about that, no.
Dreaded seal.
I mean, the last year, they passed the budget in like end of December, January, so,
Yeah.
so I hope it's not as,
Well,
the same or
it's
better.
midterms.
Yeah.
So for now, what we're doing is we're going to continue on the specification. We're going to keep this building, but we're going to keep most of the intertwined pieces, mechanical, whatever, with them meeting BABA. Whether, if you don't get the funding, then we'll be able to bid out to more rooftop companies than if we don't. Finishes, that can take a week to change. So we'll worry about that once we know. And then the wood. And the one thing that's going to surprise you, and we're hoping by next summer, right now, most of the wood that it meets BABA is actually southern pine. And the reason why is even though we do a lot of harvesting here, it's shipped up to Canada to mill, and then it comes back across the border and it doesn't meet. Hancock's supposed to be setting up a mill that will accommodate the BABA. But so far, that's just a rumor in the construction sphere. So that is something that,
We used to
but-
have three wood mills right in Brunswick.
Yep.
Not too long ago, and they closed them all down.
Yep. So that's just something to know. But we can do that, so.
Now, what about smaller outfits? Like, we used to use Bickford Lumber up in Bodenham. He gets his own logs, he cuts his own, I don't know that he stamps them number 2 or whatever, but for building wharves and piers, we get hemlock, we get stuff from him all the time for construction. I don't know if that's,
Well, so the holdup is, that would be fine on certain things. With your structural engineer having the stamping requirements, there is the whole grading process of the lumber
Right.
is very defined. It's actually, I think it's done by the trade group I think they're in Cumberland, and they certify these mills, and it's a very intricate process to do that. And yes, that the lumber that might be cut up there,
yeah.
Regionally might be fine, but it does not have the stamp on it. And it's also specifically in
But you
this.
can get it stamped. You can
Well,
pay
yes,
somebody
but
to
it's,
stamp
that is a cost of that is a manufacturer's product that does that. And by the time you do some of those certification processes,
Back to the other.
you're pretty hard to beat some of the other prices at that point.
Yeah.
The other challenging thing that we'll have here is we'll have certain requirements on doing a truss like this. There'll be certain lumber requirements for each of these members of the truss and for the different strengths of lumber that exceeds certain things that you would go and pick out of the pile like Hancock stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a mixed bag of things like that.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about it for the trusses. I mean, those gotta be engineered.
Those are-
The
those are
exterior
very-
walls will have to be engineered too because they're holding up the trusses.
So,
It's a downstream flow.
And then
of
usually we
requirements.
use metal studs on the interior just because it's easier to put the electrical and plumbing through.
whichever.
But, yeah,
And you don't end up, if we have
Also,
like,
we're not gonna wind up with a fully wood building then.
I'm sorry?
So we're not ending up with a fully wood building.
well, the structure
Structure
per
wood.
se will be wood. The internal walls of bathrooms and the gym and all that.
Partition walls.
We have found that using light gauge metal studs in that, you don't get the drywall cracks and pops from the wood after it shrinks out, because it takes 3 years for that lumber really to come out of
Got
the
it.
moisture to come out of it.
Yep.
We find there's a much better long-term product doing those. The metal struts don't shrink and
And the
have those issues.
sheet rockers do it, so they go right in and lay out.
They are a package unit, it's not two trays, that's, the sheet rockers come in, they hang it,
Yeah.
the mechanical is roughed in, and then the drywallers come right in, sheet it.
Again,
insert.
whatever's most economical in the whole
Yep.
piece of it all. So, the other thing I was just gonna say is it is a fire station, so it's a little high, it's a risk category 4, so it's gonna be important that we have the lumber rated, to make sure it will meet all the seismic needs, et cetera, for a fire station, emergency services building.
Yeah, there'd be a significant amount of structural hardware, hold-down hardware,
Bracing,
even
yeah,
just
yeah.
being at one, just at one story, it still will have quite a bit of sunk of rods and hold-downs into the concrete.
A lot of Simpson will make some money.
Yes, they will,
Simpson.
in addition to the
ties
press
and
plates on
hangers.
the trusses.
But we don't want this coming down in a hurricane. So we want it to stay
I'm more
out.
worried about the nor'easters we have than a hurricane up here.
Yeah, same,
That's protected up there.
Yeah, you get the woods, pretty good, decent woods against the other side, and the hill's going up a little bit. Is it flat, way behind there? Does it
that-
drop off?
No, it's, back where it's going is pretty flat.
Yeah, because it goes up beyond
I
the
thought you were
tower,
Oh, yeah,
kicks
yeah,
up to
yeah.
the ledges, right?
Oh, yeah,
That's
yep.
Cliff walk,
The
yeah.
cliff trail up there.
We call it the mountain road for a reason.
All right. Good. So, yeah, I think all in all, we're feeling like it's good news. I think we see the path forward, and we can kind of get moving and keep chipping away.
So the next big thing is to get the site, get it located, so we know how things start relating. And then we go back to talking about the interior of this, because we took it some ways, but we now have to do a little bit of shifting back and forth. If you look at the site plan and you look at the plan that we did, there's a little bit of shifting on the buildings. It's easy to shift those two buildings back and forth. But until we have the site, I really don't know where that's gonna land.
So this whole piece here is gonna slide forward on it where the backside would be flush to keep us off, I think, depending on where that stream, the setback go. So, that's, so again, we gotta see if how that's gonna shake out. And that'll change then, some of the entrances, from
Yeah,
the
You have a packet?
living ways, yeah. It was right here.
No, his packet.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
and that's still just, you're just offsetting the two rectangles.
Yeah, so I just gotta find, how we're gonna
Yeah,
enter
you're
the bays again that way,
Yeah, your circulation changes.
right, a little bit.
But otherwise,
Yeah,
And we're expecting flycatcher to be done when?
they're all,
I
are they
don't-
signed? Are
Yeah,
they-
they're signed, yeah. I
Yep.
asked him to coordinate with you, and
Okay.
and I didn't want
haven't heard
to,
yet.
I didn't want to bug Colliers without talking to you, so
Yeah.
we can bug,
feel free to bug.
okay,
them.
I will do that.
I mean, we've seen them out there.
Oh, yeah,
so,
they've been up there.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
They're usually pretty good, they should be
Yeah,
done shortly,
yeah.
but we'll give them,
Okay.
check
Yeah,
in with
yeah.
them. And I'll keep checking in with flycatcher, and so, one guy is a resident, I think, in Harpswell.
well, Tim Forrester does a lot of work in Harpswell. He works for Flycatcher.
Yeah, what kind of pushing that?
Is it Waddle? Waddle,
No, she works for, what, wharf builder or?
who were you thinking of, Andy?
I'm having a senior
Oh,
moment,
okay.
sorry. I'm having a wedding moment, that's too much going
Oh,
on in my
that-
head.
we
you know,
understand.
right now, so, keep on the
Have you
same.
got your speech down yet?
I do, I do.
Oh, that's
I do, so I made the little photo collage board.
Oh,
and,
wow.
and so, yeah, it's good. We're all ready. So, let's see, it was with Nicole.
So I just sent myself an email, I was going to bug in the morning. It's going to be iffy whether they're open tomorrow, but it'll be sitting there for them on Monday morning. So,
Who is it? Rodney Kelshaw. I think Nicole said he lived here
Oh,
in
maybe. I
Hartsville
don't
somewhere.
recognize
He's one of the
the name.
principals at
Oh.
Flycatcher.
Oh,
So he's
Oh,
the
really?
guy that was kind of doing your
I don't recognize the
stuff.
name.
no, we only know Tim
Yeah,
and Kelly.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So,
Huh.
but we'll kind of put some pressure on them because that's really where we're, and I really need the Flycatcher stuff too, because I got to know what sections are streamed, what, you know.
Yeah, these are your limits of
Yeah.
what the box that you can define.
Yeah.
Because you got your board, you got your boundaries now of established that, and then you're gonna be bound two full sides on this parcel.
Because I walked out there though, and I think it stays still pretty flat this side of the transfer station road. So I've cited a couple of potential, moving that road down the hill a little bit. So I think we've got a fair amount of room. So hopefully it'll be, hoping everything will be better, not worse. As we get out. So, but, until then, I'm just relying on the locations of things from that previous, environmental study of the town had.
Well, we got a couple of warfarings tonight, and one of them's Tim. Is extortion the right word?
Okay. Okay.
So,
Are we being recorded?
Yes, we
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure,
don't worry about
you
that.
say we're just joking. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
the next meeting, basically, we'll see how it goes with Colliers
Yep.
and with, Flycatcher. And I think our next meeting's actually the first Thursday of July.
July 2nd. yeah.
Because things get a little weird here. The next, in 2 weeks, Thursday, the 2nd, I have a feeling nobody's gonna wanna come here. Since Monday, or since the next day's up, the start of the long 4th of July weekend.
Oh,
So, kind of take a look at that. And we can start kind of taking a look at the various different interiors, starting to talk about how things come together, how, where do we take that next?
yeah.
So, and hopefully, if we have the information on the site, we can start talking about where it's located on there, and get that going. But yeah, that's the next step. It's kind of, okay, we got to keep looking at this. We can't drop the ball with the value engineering, but let's move through the process and start, and keep looking.
Would we have the lot cleared this fall, as soon as we get the survey back?
Depends on technically, we're supposed to do a report for the BABA, or the federal money.
Oh, yeah.
So before we start the project, maybe you could clear, just as
It'd be nice to have it cleared so it could be walked and,
phase one, or
Pins in the
just
ground.
another. So that's a possibility. So I just don't want to run afoul. of
Let's,
that,
Yeah.
there's two
congressional
things.
Yeah.
One is, I would like to talk to the civil to make sure we're not going to get in trouble with the DEP,
vote. Yeah.
and then take a look at the BABA.
You've got
Yep.
to go before the planning board too,
Yeah.
to get approved
Right.
before anything
Right.
happens.
Okay.
Oh, for the clearing?
Well, you need to go through site plan review,
Yeah, we know that. I'm
so
just,
I don't think you should assume you can start anything till
yeah, okay.
that's been approved.
But that might still, yeah. We should kind of get more, now that we've, kind of again got a path
Save
forward.
the seat.
Tighten up the schedule. Okay, and that's
No, you got
it.
here just in time.
Okay, all right.
I believe the meeting's
All right.
over.
Just in time.
Yeah, so you mean.
I'm glad you're all early.
So,
They've been needling.
were you suggesting we might not have anything to review on the 2nd of July and move it up? the following
I
meeting?
actually, what we'll do, no, we'll start talking more about the inside, knowing that the bay and the living might shift a little bit. But we can start talking about various things in this space, making sure that this was done a couple years ago. Things change. Also, we've been doing a lot of in-house training and going to a lot of conferences, the national design, and paying more and more attention to NFPA 1710. So there are some things that we want to overlay it, and this is the time to start having those conversations. One of the first things we like to look at when we start doing this is what your red zone is, your orange zone, and your yellow zone, and making sure everything lines up. So we're going to start getting to the more technical on the interior.
And just so folks know, red zone, you mean dirty,
Dirty.
Yeah, clean.
clean, and
No.
in between.
No, actually,
Okay, they
the,
go yellow, okay.
yeah, what they're calling it is red, orange, yellow, and red is the bays.
Yeah.
Orange is
Transition.
the decon and locker rooms, because that's a
Yeah,
transition.
Transitional zones.
Transitional zone, and then yellow is actually the living and the offices.
Then the green is outside.
They switch the colors.
Okay.
So the whole idea, and then that also corresponds pretty heavily with the mechanical, because what you want to make sure is you want to make sure the air flows from the yellow to the red.
Pressurizing the
Yeah, if
Pressurizing
you open the
everything.
door to the bays, you want the air to go out to the bay, not to get sucked in.
So, and start kind of pulling into some of those things. And we've actually started putting, for lack of better words, almost like a little box in the corner. I think I have most of the information on the box. It's like, what's your exhaust? Do your trucks need air? Just a comment, trying to pull the questions in there, and I think I've got most of those questions, but
What kind
we'll
of
go over.
drops that we're gonna have from
For
the
the
ceiling?
ceiling.
for the
Because I
apparatus?
believe your trucks do not need air, correct, or do they?
I think all of them.
No,
Our older trucks, we plug into air.
okay.
The trucks at Orr's Island, we leave plugged into air, the ones that need it.
So that's a
Newer trucks don't have that problem, but
Okay.
we still have a number of older trucks.
And then, the other thing is there is a cost implication to where you put drainage,
Yeah.
but one of the big recommendations is that you locate the trucks in such a way that they're not tilted, especially with a tanker truck that can really just tear up your suspension system if a truck's sitting there leaning like this. So those are things that we'll walk through, and we'll start with a pretty high level, and then we'll start getting more and more detailed. And we will have some conversations, not decisions, probably a lot of emails, just confirming things as we go, and we'll keep getting more and more detailed. So we're at what I like to call the 50,000 foot, and we're going to start working our way down to the final. Does that make sense? So, yeah, it'll be more fun.
Okay.
Maybe some frustration thrown in, but it's starting to talk about it.
Well, I was just asking because it seemed like you were hesitant about July 2nd.
No, I'm hesitant about whether or not we'll have the site worked out, but we will have, not the second, I thought we might push it to the 9th, just because the second,
More for if people are.
more just because
So close to the.
so close to the 4th,
Anyway,
so,
I'm fine with the
Yeah.
second, but what do people want to do?
okay,
okay.
all right.
Ninth?
Well, that's what I'm asking. I'm fine with the second, so.
That might be you,
The third is
Oh, it
is
will
the
be you.
federal holiday, so.
yeah. But you can handle it.
All right, Lita said I can do, I think she wasn't good with the second.
I'm doing penance for being on vacation the week before.
Yeah.
As you all know, that's how it works.
Well, I mean, if
I'll
we,
bet, but I can do it.
we go, the problem is my schedule just works out that it's an every other
Okay.
thing.
Let's plan on it right
But
now.
that being said, if we need to transition, it just means maybe we go 3 weeks and then we go 3 weeks to get back on the cycle.
Okay,
That's all.
all right.
But if there's really an issue.
Well, let's see
He's a big boy.
Let's see what,
Yeah.
second's okay with me. Sounds good. Just random question, antenna, have we ever talked about that?
An antenna for the building, you mean?
Yeah, how's communications in the area, is it?
There's a tower right behind the up on the hill that has a repeater on it.
Oh, it does.
But we're
All
gonna
right.
need to have a radio in the building in order to activate lights and all that stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we're
but
gonna-
I didn't know if there was, okay, so that's, so you do already have, is that on the TV, or the?
No, the big cell
Big
tower
one,
up here.
okay, so,
But
yeah.
you're still gonna have to have some sort of whip or something that can
Yeah.
connect to either a base station or a mobile on a power supply in the building.
Right,
to make
right, but
lights.
we don't need to find an area for our own antenna for communications,
so.
for radio, okay.
I'm writing that, I'm sending an email to add that to the blog.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
that matter, the town has a tower, a TV station, we could throw an antenna on that if we had to, right?
Up the hill, yeah.
The one right by the station?
There's a small one,
Isn't there
right?
a-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But we have another one up on the mountain.
So how far are we away from the planning board, submitting to the planning board? Do we have to have an actual site?
I think you've got to show your,
I mean-
setbacks and.
The
So
building-
we'll have to, so
Parking.
the other thing we need to do is, once we get the building on the site, then Silas is, our civil engineers, got to figure out how we're, gonna treat stormwater runoff, if they're, stormwater treatment, detention ponds, how it's gonna all work. That part's got to be like pretty much figured out. So a lot of the civil engineering's got to be done for the planning board.
So there's two things. The civil engineer has to have pretty much everything worked out for the permit and planning board. And the permit's going to be the biggest driver timeline.
Oh,
Because usually when you submit for your DEP permit, you've got everything worked out for the planning boards. They usually submit that right afterwards, so.
And I'm not sure how Harpswell is, but some towns require, you might give us conditional approval, but a lot of times it's not a final approval until you have the DEP permit
That
in
could
your
be,
hand.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but,
And then the other permits that you'll need at some point is the state fire marshal, which we will schedule in and get that going. But that, knock on wood, is taking about 6 weeks now. So we just timed that.
and,
And we're still
should look
arguing
at
over
what-
whether the bathrooms need to be all ADA or not.
yeah.
The showers need to all be ADA. Don't ask me how that logic works, but we're trying to get an exception, and we're working through that on a couple of projects. And if we can, we will pull that forward.
With the state. The other thing then might be, is this a state road? No.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, it is.
So we're gonna relocate the
Oh, yeah.
transfer station, so there'll probably be some interaction with the DOT as well.
I thought Community Drive was staying put, no?
I'm sliding the entrance down the hill. So we're just changing where it intersects.
We're changing the
Mountain
angle is
Road.
the big
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It puts you,
So-
you can see the kind of the shift here. It puts you more square with the road
Which
in a more,
gives you more tarmac in front of the bays.
Apron, yeah.
Apron,
I didn't realize
and
that.
it also is gonna slow somebody down, because it's not a Mario Andretti kind of corner, banked corner turn going up to the transfer station. If anybody knows who Mario, these guys know who Mario Andretti is.
The other thing too is it straightens you out more when you're there, so it's easier to look left and right versus one
Yeah.
seeing very well and one kind of craning, because that's important too, so.
And I looked at, the level of the road right there, and it looks like we can get something that's not gonna be super steep or anything.
All right, I just didn't catch that. I thought we were trying to avoid that, so you didn't have to do all that ledge removal.
No, it's, so that looks pretty good there. There might be, I think if there's ledge removal in here, it's more just gonna be with the machine. We're just gonna chip it away with the backhoe.
pulling the intersection of, excuse me, pulling the intersection of Community Drive up more to square here gives you the flexibility on the grade with the ramp, so you're not too steep or too shallow. It will make sure water stays angling away from the building, down to the intersection with Community Drive. On that, and you wouldn't have that if the road remained there, you wouldn't even be a truck length from the building because of the impingement with the stream on the back side of the building. So, like, if we could, we'd shove it back into the stream, but the stream is shoving it the opposite way.
Right. That used to be a vernal pool, but now it's a stream. So,
Everyone can grow up.
yeah.
This is probably a stream today.
Yeah, you know,
Probably wasn't a stream yesterday.
might not have been.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, it's gonna be a river.
Yeah, yeah.
Was the stream-
When we, DEP, it was raining like hell.
I mean, that still doesn't make total sense to me that 20 feet of it could be, or 30 feet could be
Yeah.
a stream fed by an amorphous wetland above it.
Regulation doesn't have to make sense.
No, that's true.
You want to talk about bathrooms again?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
still,
right.
I can't get it,
ADA regulations, yeah.
so,
Okay,
all right.
that's,
We good?
yeah, I'm good.
So what date are we at now? Second or the
Second.
9th?
Second.
Second?
Yeah, yeah, stay with the second. Okay.
And you'll be in touch depending on how the outcome of the, with the civil and the
Yeah,
flycatcher.
yeah.
We will have plenty to talk about
probably
if
won't
we
be
don't
able to
have
make
that.
that one.
Hopefully, we will.
It's gonna be somewhere else, I think.
So I was gonna recall in the car that day, so. May have to haul her around from around.
And all that stuff that's set.
Well, I'm happy to see the numbers going in the right direction. 5.7 is,
Yeah, I mean, we're really encouraged. We sat down together, you know, and we went through it, and we're like, yes, this is moving in the right direction. This,
So they're still big, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know if you have like an official contingency in there, but like in the, you know, when we look at the $1 million, that would include some contingency in the software and things like that. So there's room in there, you know, that we feel like we're gonna make it, and so.
And we will need to cut some probably from the soft costs, so that's something we need to start looking at again and talking about. And is there anything you can get another grant besides just the potential of the generator? Now, Thomaston was going after a generator for the new building, and the grant that's out there right now was not for future buildings, but that was a federal grant, not a MMA grant.
that's
There's
probably
also-
AFG, and I don't think the town's gonna qualify for those.
Well, that's
Yeah.
basically, it went down in flames, so.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, because he was trying, and she just came back and said, sorry, this is not for new equipment, or a new building. So,
So we'll need to try to get a load, what size we're looking at from Tim on it.
yeah, actually, we have a preliminary,
Okay,
so, because
so you might be able to get,
I
I
pulled it
mean, you might even be
together.
able to get one off of government surplus sometimes, I think, potentially.
So we pulled together the load for Thomaston, and it's the same bays, the same equipment, so
Okay,
pretty close.
okay,
All
all
right,
right,
that was easier than.
moving. Sure.
Thanks for coming.
All right,
I'm glad I could contribute so much.
What's that?
thank you.
I'm glad I could